We're in Cornwall and I've come down to see Stuart and Nikki, who are undertaking this, what I would call quite large barn conversion. So let's go and meet them. Let's hope they're in after all this. It's a bit quiet here for a building site. So Nikki, Stuart, you've taken on a big old project here, haven't you?
Certainly have, yes. Certainly have.
Definitely.
Are you builders?
No, engineering by trade, but always been handy, done conversions and bits and bobs there. But
So, have you done this whole thing? What was the state of this place when you got here?
the state of the place was the drive was the lane was in. Basically, we had nothing, so we had no sewage here. We had electric, but even that had to be rerouted.
Just one socket, wasn't it?
Yeah, so we had one socket, and even that was a little bit dodgy.
Yeah, and then it was just this old 200-year-old granary barn, and half of it had fallen down. Previous owners had taken a roof off, and so the water was just going straight down the walls.
The previous owners, they took the roof off for what? Were they going to do it up or what?
I think they were. We think that they were planning to do it up. They'd originally got planning permission for us, so we bought it with planning permission,
good,
which was great. We then went back and altered that, but they took the roof off and just left it and then walked away, and I think it was too much for them. I think they lived quite a long distance away, and so when they come back, they try to do work, do a bit, and then go away for another 3 months, come back, and it was just...
And realistically, you think of it and you look at it, that's 50 years of work there, isn't it?
Exactly.
If you do it that place. I mean,
Exactly.
even now, you know that taking on a project like this, everybody underestimates how long it takes to do things.
Totally.
And how much it costs, unfortunately, because prices are not going down, are they?
Yeah,
Definitely not.
We've been at this for nearly 2 years, and the increases have been
frightening.
Yeah,
absolutely.
I would hate to think what it would cost for somebody to come and do this job without us involved.
So you cut this doorway through.
That's
here.
correct.
I can see the saw lines here.
Yeah.
Is anybody controlling what you do? I mean, it's not a listed building or anything.
No,
or what?
we're not listed.
Thank heavens for that.
Yeah,
because
absolutely.
otherwise they really.
Yeah.
No preservation orders on it or anything. So other than planning regulations, we can just crack on and do our own thing.
Yeah, and building control obviously as well. So it's they're the parties who we're involved with.
So this is lime.
Yep, lime. So we've got a rubble fill in core, as they say.
And what was this, slate?
Yeah, so basically this stone must have just literally came out of a quarry just somewhere. Hence the big pile over there is we're having to save what we can, because we got to face everything again with the. So hopefully all of this will blend in. Unfortunately, we won't see the internal walls because of the insulation. By the time we put the tanking, stud work and insulation, we'll probably be out here somewhere, so you won't see any of this internally. Externally, obviously you'll see all of it. So
what are you going to do, insulation-wise? You say you're going to put stud work in, fill it with Celotex or whatever?
Yeah, I think we need to, because we haven't quite got to the stage with the tanking yet. We just need there seems to be a couple of different options available. So we need to get our heads around that, and then we not necessarily drilling through the tanking. So I just need to find out what the system would be.
Membrane or something?
Yeah, exactly. Because obviously that's separating this from everything potentially coming through. So they're saying because it's an agricultural building, there's potential for like water or like the urine and stuff that was in the walls leaching back into the building.
Oh really?
Yeah, so that's why.
Blimey. So that's why you got to tank it.
That's why they'd say. Yeah,
I was looking at it, thinking, well, it doesn't seem that the damp's going to get through there, but it's more the contamination.
It's
in
more
the wall.
what the building was in its previous life.
And you take a little sniff and think,
and it's. Yeah, I know.
50-year-old cow.
Yeah, exactly. Potentially.
That's an acquired taste, isn't it? Yeah.
But there seems to be quite a lot of people that do lime. They're a little bit jury out with it. They don't seem to like it because obviously the lime is allowing the water to come to and fro and wick her out. Yeah. But if you put a plastic sheet on this side, they're not.
When you say on this side, this would be the inside of the building.
That's correct. Yeah,
because people might be confused thinking.
Sorry.
We're outdoors.
We're actually
eventually. You're going to rebuild this wall here. All the way along.
There's an extension going out there.
Yeah.
Tim,
a bit of an extension. That looks like a monster.
Yeah.
It carries on down the slab.
Well, this looks like an aircraft runway to me.
I know.
We've got a games room at the end, and then a couple of bedrooms, and then up top, because this is double heighted. Yeah. We've got a long lounge with a study at the end.
Yeah.
So before we go inside and have a look, just tell us about the mill, because obviously there's a water mill here at one point. and it's not there any longer, is it? Was it here when you were here?
No, unfortunately, none of that existed.
Right.
It's an agricultural building, so it was never, from what I understand, that it wasn't milling for human consumption. It was just for agricultural use.
Right. Oh, okay.
And the water basically was holding lakes behind, or just in front of us there. It's back in the day when they had a workforce of probably 20 or 30 blokes, and they were able to divert the stream and take it to the holding lakes. They then ran it down the side of the building, and this is the thing we don't know, whether the water went over the wheel or under the wheel. Apparently that makes quite a difference. So over the wheel is stronger than under. Yeah. So which actually probably does make a lot of sense.
Gravity.
Yeah. So hence that's why we've got elite, which we're keeping.
A what? Sorry.
So basically, there's a tunnel that is running under this slab. Which we'll face, and basically you wouldn't be any the wiser that's it's a concrete structure underneath it. I wasn't satisfied that with the structure that was there that we would put a big building, double-storey building, and take a chance that wall was going to hold. So we've had to excavate it, reinforcing, and bring it back up so we've now got a tunnel again.
And then that leads through to Elite out there, which will take all our surface drainage down to the reed bed at the bottom.
So that's dried up at the moment.
Yeah, absolutely.
But what are you saying is when it rains heavily it will fill up? Or
the water will run down the lead.
All the guttering will run down there.
And then there's a stream at the bottom.
So you seem to know quite a lot about this drainage business.
Yes, we do. That's our background.
Is it?
Yeah, when we first met, we both worked for a wastewater treatment company, engineering company. So so that's
your game.
That was our game, for many years.
That's where you started. You get that bit right. Well, quite honestly, we're staying in a mill at the moment, and it's amazing the way that they managed the water and moved it around the building and harnessed it. And this was hundreds of years ago, wasn't it?
Absolutely phenomenal that they knew.
Shovels, nothing else.
Knew all that, built it all, and
I suppose one of the things you've got to know is that water rolls downhill. And payday is Friday. Let's have a look inside. Anyway.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, absolutely. So this structure we were able to keep. The roof has been replaced. We were trying to save the old trusses. To be quite honest, they weren't anything that special, but they looked nice. But they were full of woodworm. The other thing we had to do was put this ring beam in to tie these walls together.
So basically all the way around the building,
all the way around,
cast this concrete,
reinforced concrete.
Yep. So you did that.
Yep. So.
Pumped it in?
No, wheelbarrows. So we basically.
No way.
Yeah. Well, we had I hired a telehandler with a bucket, and so some of it I could reach and tip, and then some of it we had to literally barrow up.
We got a lot of friends over that day.
Well,
scooping it round the walls.
You had a lot of friends.
We had. Funny they don't come around anymore. I don't know, right? But yeah. So that gave us our date, and then we were nice and level all throughout. It's follow the wall.
I was going to say, it's a bit wavy line,
it's a dog's leg.
That's all you can do is follow the wall.
And then just get the tops level. So as long as the top was level, we didn't really matter too much about
that. And that was lasered off. You got that.
So then the wall plate, and the reason we've gone for a ceiling here is basically we've got lots of little rooms. So we're actually standing in the hallway at the moment. And then the rooms will go off
utility
that
room,
way.
bedrooms.
So you don't need any vaulted ceiling.
No,
not in this part. No.
So as we go forward,
progress,
that's a nice old.
Yeah, beauty.
Beautiful.
It came from bought it second hand locally. Because the problem we've got is all the stone. Well, you can see it. This is a normal width for a stone, but we've got a face. So we've got now a traditional cavity wall, but we need a fascia stone. So all our stones have now got to be cut. So the cut face, where you're costing all the money and pay a lot of money for, we won't see, but we'll have all this raggedy old face facing out. So
we needed to cut every stone.
Yeah, so we have to cut every stone.
My goodness.
Yeah, so there's a lot of work there.
And then
so we've walked through the hall and
wow, look at this.
We've gone for a vaulted ceiling.
Goodness.
It took about a year to design and manufacture this structure.
It was made by a local artisan. So we worked with him, we got it all shipped in, and then he actually made the structure for us.
Did he come and fit it?
Yeah, absolutely.
Excellent.
Yeah. So
with our help.
It's beauty,
because he's just a sort of one-man band and a lad kind of thing.
Yeah, really. So that's incredible. So what was the thinking behind not using English oak?
We did get quotes. It was definitely dearer.
Is it?
It was a lot more money. Oak is expensive anyway, which is fair enough. We just got on really well with Dave. He's basically designed it, and this is what I love about it, is these pendants.
Yeah, aren't they amazing?
They're really cool, aren't they?
Yeah.
You imagine that, because all the forces, so you could have had just a bolt standard truss and carried that through, but he designed it, and all the loading is now going into those pendants, which is...
Sorry, why have we got that valley down there? Why isn't there just one single one in the middle and everything meets in it?
Because basically...
nothing straight.
It's nothing straight, and I wasn't happy. You can see this corner. I wanted to tie this into that.
Oh, okay.
So if I just cut this wall off, this wall is basically potentially got that.
Yeah.
So by putting a pillar in, so this is a reinforced hollow block pillar with reinforcing in.
Yeah.
So we've got 2 hips on the valley, and that roof was a nightmare. Because you can imagine,
I can't believe it.
Oh yeah, this is why I'm going bald, I think. Yeah, it's like,
you had loads of hair?
Yeah, I had loads. Yeah, I started this job and it all went. But no, I'm only joking. But yeah, it was a head scratcher, definitely.
Blimey.
So, but it's made a really nice roof.
Yeah.
And
isn't it funny? You got the contrast of this old slate into the new blockwork, which looks extremely tidy. Actually, it's a nice job.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, that's sort of really a first. Yeah, I've done block work in the past.
You did it?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, but I made it even harder for myself because watching one of your videos, you talked about cav fill insulation.
Yeah.
So you gave me 10mm tolerance to work with on the cavity. And my gosh, that was quite tricky to,
Do you know what?
to maintain.
I neglected to say that what we call the full fill cavity, which is 10mm, like you say.
Yeah, 90mm, and then you got
brickies hate it.
I bet they do. Yeah, I was hating it right at the end of it.
All the time, aren't they?
Yeah, you were really chasing your tail.
I was fine, blocks. I mean, they're heavy old things, and these are full density, aren't they?
Yeah.
High density blocks. They're not a medium density block. So
these are actually manufactured down here in Cornwall. So these are granite sort of chippings.
I know. That was my job, moving these in and out.
I was going to say they're heavy, aren't they? If I had done that for my first ever block work, in fact, if I'd done it for my last job, I'd be happy.
Oh, brilliant. By putting this ring beam, by doing an extension, you've really everything's nice and tight.
You're not now relying on the roof to hold the building together.
Exactly that. So you can tell, actually, there were different people who built this structure. So this is very different to the double-storey structure, and a little bit that we had to take down on the end was built by somebody else completely different again.
Yeah, they just keep tagging bits on.
Yeah, definitely. It's an aggregate.
The materials are local.
Yeah. So you can imagine
this floor. You just poured this floor. There's no insulation under here. It's going on top.
So basically, we got that. Well, that's the floor makeup.
And that's beam and block.
Yeah. So you can see the line in the floor. That is basically where that wall continues all the way through, and then we just. So over there, Roger, you can just see where the extension came out, and we raised all this up. So a lot of the rubble, the broken up concrete floor that was in there, which was just for agricultural use, is all gone in here.
So you got a crusher?
Yeah, we did actually. Well, I got a friend of ours with a really nice. He's got this really posh swing shovel with a crusher on the front of it, and he spent 2 days crunching it all up. And then we could dump it all back in here. So we haven't had to take anything off site.
No, that's the way. I mean, I do look at people doing that, just concrete and then bringing in.
Yeah, it doesn't make any sense, does it? Yeah,
nuts. Just recycle it.
So hence we've got it made our patio area. So this is the bifold doors.
So what you put these sealed units in here.
Yeah, cool.
And then you'll get a big door here, yeah?
Yeah, so bifold doors, so they will open up, come out onto a patio. I'm trying something different here. I'm going to cast a concrete capping block, coping stone across the top.
Yeah.
Because, again, this is faced with stone, hence the wall ties and stuff. And then I can build the stonework up to the underside of the cast concrete.
Yeah.
So that's the thinking.
This is your land here?
Yes.
Yeah, the fence is our boundary there.
And then we own everything that side.
A couple of acres running down through the valley. So
and you were talking about getting a lawnmower.
Nikki's the chief in charge of lawn mowing. She really enjoys it. Yeah.
I would get a goat.
Well, that's what she calls me, apparently. Yeah.
Never.
Yeah, I don't think that's...
We actually, the farmer comes and we sort of just let him put his sheep on the field. It keeps does that exactly that, mows the lawn.
Yeah. So we do get the sheep in. So
that's your water management system over there.
That's right. It's an aeration system. So it's got a baffle
in the blowing air in there.
Yeah. Unfortunately, you can just hear the air pump working.
Yeah.
That works 24/7. It's oxygenating the water, so this is where it's different from a septic tank. It doesn't become septic.
No, it just keeps it.
Yeah, it keeps it aerated.
Keeps it clean and frothy.
Yeah, and then the bugs are doing their business, and then it gets to the other side of the baffle, and it's just skimming the couple of millimetres off the top constantly.
And it's clean water that comes out the other end.
Yeah.
You could drink it. I wouldn't recommend
really,
it.
seriously?
But yeah,
Seriously.
it's perfectly clean.
Do you know what? I've heard that. I've never really believed it in the past, but you can do that.
Yeah, we've had it. We've had it tested, and it's perfectly good water that just can go straight into a reed bed and then straight into the stream.
So the reed bed's down there somewhere.
Yeah, be right down the bottom,
so we can,
and then there's a stream running through the bottom of the valley.
Wow.
So there's quite a difference in floor height that's got to
because
be
you're going to have insulation on top of this.
You got it, yeah. So
and then you pour in a screed.
Yes. So at the moment, again, going back to that tanking, so that's to go in. There's channels that run down the sides of the property to take any excess moisture that potentially builds up, can be drained out. Then, like you say, then it's to make up with the scree, and we're going for a ground source heat pump at the moment.
I was going to ask you about that next.
Yeah, that's the thinking.
All right. So what, a borehole, or you just going to dig a...
Because fortunately we've got land.
You've got enough to put
we can do a slinky. So it's quite big. They're still in the midst of designing that at the moment. But obviously heating something this big is we've got to get it right.
What's your power supply like down here?
Well, we had cables coming high level here, and we brought them down and put them underground. In doing that, our transformers in the farmer's field, we can put 3-phase in.
I was going to say 3-phase, all right. Yeah. So that'll handle the big heat pump for you. Yeah.
But you are right. The Western Power that done the transfer, they were a bit concerned. They were saying that because it's quite a draw for these pumps, and they are. I don't think they're concerned, but they're wary about if there's obviously a lot in the condensed area. And that initial startup, we're definitely trying to go down the renewable route. So solar panels, heat source. We're even looking at air source, not as heat recovery, but heat recovery system. Not just because of the vaulted ceilings and stuff like that.
Another nice job you've done here is on the insulation. It's a snug fit there, isn't it?
Yeah. We use this tape, this Gapo tape that you were talking about, and to be honest, it was really good. Very expensive,
isn't it?
But I think it's made a really good job. It doesn't matter how perfect you go in with those rafters. There's always they're not 100% straight. No. There's different thicknesses, and that tape was brilliant. It took up every kind of gapping.
And the install was so much easier, wasn't it?
Yeah. Well, we had a production team, didn't we? We had
my dad and I cutting them, and my mum wrapping them, and then Stu just up there, and he just could slot them in.
And they stay where you put them, don't they?
Yeah, pretty much. We don't want the plant room in the build. We're going for the garage, which will be a workshop as well as the plant room. We're talking to a lot of the suppliers already, even though we are probably 3 years before we actually need the product. But you need the information. So like these pipes, so we've got the 65mm flow and return pipes to the heat source pump.
Yeah.
We got this is an insulated pipe, which is it's extremely expensive actually. In there's 2 pipes, 25mm pipes, but it's in polystyrene. So that's really, you want to get the measurement right for that. And then all of these other surfaces run through to the building. So hopefully the plant room can be here. We can keep it all here and then send everything through to the build.
So you just dig a trench here somewhere, you've got a trench.
It's already in, it's all in, done.
I'm impressed, really.
Thank you.
You've got a way to go with it. If there's anybody watching this video who fancies a month or 2 down in sunny Cornwall, doing a bit of graft, getting a bit of experience, then I'm sure there'll be.
I'm sure
we'll be blocks delay.
You got some accommodation here. That'll do. Yeah, honestly, you could camp out here quite nicely, couldn't you?
Yeah, definitely.
It's definitely.
Yeah, you never know. There could be people who just think, a little bit of a work experience and come.
Never really thought of it, but it's,
free labour if you can get hold of it. Or whatever.
But
no, it's a good thing. But there are people out there who just say, "Well, I'd love to come down and give a hand." Various people. So we'll come and see you again. I think.
Lovely.
What would be really good is obviously the underfloor heating heat pumps, all that stuff would be very, very interesting.
Okay. I'll definitely talk to you as we go.
We
are quite slow
updates,
compared to some sites that you probably go to, and we're still talking years, not months. But
well, I was having a conversation only this morning with somebody about people building for the future, and the fact that years ago people would start the building that they knew wouldn't be finished in their lifetime. Really? Now, I'm not suggesting this is but that kind of commitment, when you think people working on a building, cathedral, took 300 years to build it.
They would never see the finished product.
Never see it. So you've got to do it. You've got to dream and carry on. You've made a nice job of the roof anyway. It's a bit of slate. There's a local Delabole slate quarry?
Unfortunately not. No, we've had to use Brazilian slate. Which is a really nice slate to use. It is still natural slate, but unfortunately we just could not get a hold of the local stuff.
It's a waiting list for it. Delabole, we were going to try and go there actually, but they didn't have a tour running, but it's an interesting place to go.
Yeah, we'd love to.
Amazing. And it's such a good product, but there's such a waiting list for it.
Yeah, and it's very expensive. It's absolutely
everything down here that's any historic value has to have Delabole slate normally put back on again.
Oh, does it?
So they
listed building thing.
Okay.
Yeah. So you're right down the pecking order.
We are.
We're way down.
Brazilian. Nothing wrong with Brazilian.
No.
Don't do that one. I'll just do that again.
You're making your own jokes.
So as we travel along these narrow Cornish roads and we head towards the northern coast, Roger spots a renovation project that he likes the look of, and the owner, Fidian, is more than happy to show us around. So subscribe to Skill Builder, turn on the notifications and make sure you join us for the next stage of our West Country tour.